Today we're going to go over what is the difference between a thick question and a thin question. When we think about something that's thick, it's meaty, right? It has a lot to it. So if we're going to ask a question that is thick, it requires some higher order thinking, and the answer is not just right there. To answer a thick question, students cannot point at the answer. To obtain the answer to a thick question, the student must think and search for the answer. That means if you were to go into a book, for example, and say, if your question was, where was the setting? And you could say, oh, it says right here, it was in New York. That's a right there question. Or what's the name of the main character? Oh, the main character's name is Johnny. Those are right there questions. Those don't require you to do any thinking. It's just, it's just right there. When we think about a thick question, it's like a s'more. You need time to chew on it. A thin question is like a thin s'more. Unlike a thick question, a thin question is quick to find or quick to chew. It's like thinking about that when we talk about chewing on something, we're not really talking about literally eating it, but when we have to chew on an answer or chew on a question for a while, that means we need to take time to think about it. So let's look at some examples of thick questions. Or some examples. Some examples of a thick question might be, why do you think? Or why if, or how would you feel if? Maybe it would be a what might, like what might happen if, or what might the author do, or what might the character say? Why is, or what caused? These are think and search questions because as a reader, you have to go into the book and you have to infer and make guesses based on the evidence from the book. Let's look at some examples of thin questions. Thin questions are right there. And thin questions usually start with when. When did the story take place? Where did the story take place? Who is the main character? How many main characters are there? How many times did the character break down, right? Those are all just very literal questions that we can just answer right there in the text. So as you create today, as you create questions for Woods Runner, I want you thinking about creating thick questions, questions that we can talk about in our Socratic seminar. So you have this document that's in that folder or in your directions today. I want you to make sure you download these, put them and upload them into Notability. And I want you to use these as sentence starters to help you create thick questions. So you'll see that there are examples like what if, or how did, why did, what would happen if, what caused, what might, and so on. There's a whole document there to get you started. Now, this isn't the only document that you have to use to start or create a thick question, but however, this is just something there for you to help you get started if you need to. And I look forward to meeting with you on Friday at our WebEx to do a fabulous Socratic seminar. See you then.